What's up? Today we got a super fun deck for you. One of my favorite artworks ever. Dark Paladin. This is a fusion between Dark Magician and Buster Blader. It has actually a really cool effect where you can negate a spell by discarding a card. So that's obviously really nutty in good format. Because the best cards in this format are spells. However, it is obviously very tricky to make, so it's balanced out in that sense. So we actually run 3 of him, Dark Paladin. This is a must because just how the deck works, sometimes you do actually make 3 of these. The other fusions we've got in the deck, you should also be running 2 of each, but I've only got 1 of each of these, so just bear that in mind. You've got a Sandwich, really cool card, amazing art. It's a fusion between Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest, which is banned, but we can make this by other means. You've got Last Warrior from Another Planet. This is a fusion between Zombria the Dark and a card called Mario Kutai, which I think is just a little normal monster with like next to no attack or something. Obviously we're not running that, but we are running Zombira because it's just a good card in general and it can help us go into this. And you've got Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Again, you should be running 2 of this. This actually comes up quite a bit, so I might have to get myself another one of these, but I'm not sure if I can be chewed. But 2/8 attack, big vanilla beat stick, really good. With Thunder Dragon, obviously. Just in a bubble, this card is pretty terrible, but because Thunder Dragon gives you a plus, you can make this pretty much for free. So the way we go into all these fusions is with our Fusion Gate package. So you could run 2 Fusion Gate and a Terraforming. This, you can try and find room for another Terraforming, because I have found that sometimes I can't get to my Fusion Gate when I want to, but I found that if I do run 2 Terraforming, then oftentimes it'll break my hand and I'll lose the game because of it. So it's up to you, but I'm sticking with the 2 Fusion Gate and 1 Terraforming, and just hoping that I can use other cards in the deck to stall out until I get to what I need. You've got 2 Dimension Fusion. This is amazing in this deck because you banish all your fusion materials, bring them back, and then you can make another fusion, or you can just keep them separate in order to get more damage on board. Really cool. You do pay 2,000 life points, which we don't mind at all because this is kind of like an OTK deck, so no worries there. You've got triple Rescue Cat and triple Mystical Sheep #1. So if you don't know what these do, Rescue Cat lets you tribute it to special summon 2 level 3 or lower beasts, I think, which are these guys. And if you've got this card, Last Will, it can help you get out another guy from your deck and then apply some serious pressure. The Mystical Sheep #1s can be used as fusion substitutes for any fusion monster. So these help you go into your Last Warrior from Another Planet, your Dark Paladin, all the cards that I've seen. You can go into double Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon with these guys, so very nice. Your Last Will targets these guys. So you've got Sangan, which can search you your Rescue Cat or your Mystical Sheep #1, or these other 2 cards. Exiled Force, really important Last Will target because it can also be used to proc Last Will. And you've got DD Warrior Lady, applies some pressure. Does kind of work with Dimension Fusion, because obviously you can bring it back with Dimension Fusion, but it also brings back whatever you banished with this. So yeah, but you don't mind too much because you can just banish it again. It's just kind of a weird interaction. You've got Skilled Dark Magician. This is to help us turbo into our Dark Magician so that we can make the big Dark Paladin guy. It's just in general a really good card. It's a 1900, 1700 stats level 4, so just a really good card in general. You need to activate 3 spell cards in order to special summon Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is really nice. And so we only need to run the 1 Dark Magician because we can turbo into it with that guy, and this doesn't break up our hands. And the way we get to Dark Magician is with these cards. So you've already got your Terraformings, your Fusion Gates, your Dimension Fusions, in order to help you stack counters on your skilled Dark Magician. This card really helps. Upstart Goblin. My Body as a Shield also really helps, because if your opponent tries to use any kind of destruction on your skilled Dark Magician, which they may well do because he's a big 1900 beater, they don't want to be taking that kind of damage or having the monster run over. So this card will protect it for the cost of 1500 life points, which we don't care about because we're trying to game our opponent as soon as possible. And it'll also stack a counter on him, so really cool. This is also insurance when you make your big push plays with Dark Paladin. We don't care about spells obviously because we can negate them, but this can negate traps from your hand like turn 1, so really cool. You've got double numbing a crossout. This is to help stack counters on your skilled Dark Magician by banishing our opponent's face downs. Again, it's also insurance for your Dark Paladin. We don't want any flip effects killing him. You've got Triple Thunder Dragon. Pretty obvious. This goes into your Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. It's a +1. Unfortunately, we're not running any Chaos Monsters because this is the only light in the deck. There are a bunch of darks, but generally speaking, most of your shit gets banished anyways, so it's not the end of the world. You've got Zombie of the Dark. Just in general, a big 21 beat stick that can just be normal summoned is really good. It does lose 200 attack each time it kills a monster, and it cannot attack directly. But the main reason we run this is because it can go into our Last Warrior from Another Planet, which is basically like a complete switch up in strategy for this deck, because it's kind of like a lockdown card. But it can just straight up win you the game if your opponent's just got a handful of Chaos Boys and big monsters. So really cool to be able to make Last Warrior from Another Planet. I was playing a game against the Silent Swordsman deck that I showed you last time, and basically the Last Warrior from Another Planet got snatched stolen, and that was just really unfortunate. So I did add a card into this deck to mitigate that interaction, because that can really fuck you, because obviously you're trying to special summon a bunch of big boys, and you can't do that if your opponent steals your big lockdown. But you've got reinforcements of the army, only 1, because I only run 3 targets. Usually I would recommend having at least 4 targets for a gold format deck in order to be able to run this card, but as I say, we're trying to kill our opponent turn 2, 3, 1 if we can, so it's fine as it is. This is also a spell that you can activate anytime for skilled Dark Magician. Same goes for Last Will, and obviously if you use Last Will and then tribute the Dark Magician, the skilled Dark Magician, sorry, to bring out the OG DM, then Last Will get procced by that, so really cool. You've got Spell and Trap Removal, Break of the Magical Warrior, Heavy Storm, and Mystical Space Typhoon. You want to make sure you use Heavy Storm before you activate your Fusion Gate, obviously, because then you'll not be able to make any plays. You've got Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity. You can go plus off this with Thunder Dragon, but you tend not to because you want to save your Thunder Dragons for fusion plays. But obviously this is just a really good card. It's a card that you can activate at any time for Skilled Dark too, so very nice. Same goes for Snatch Steel, helps you go for game. You don't really need tribute summons, unfortunately, so you can't really get this off the board. But you don't really care because you're going for a big OTK usually if you play this card. You've got Premature Burial, can bring back your skilled Dark Magician, and it'll also put a counter on it, so that's really, really nice. Unfortunately, you kind of bring back Dark Paladin with this, but I believe you can bring back Last Warrior from another planet, so that's pretty cool. Because you generally fusion summon them properly, so very nice. And the last card is Ring of Destruction. This is to stop our opponent from snatch stealing Last Warrior and then killing us slowly with it. This is also a OTK enabler because if your opponent's got a monster and you make your big play of like Dark Paladin plus Dark Magician plus the two little ratty things, if your opponent's got a monster, it's not going to be game, so this helps you seal the deal during their next standby phase. You just activate this on one of your own guys and that's GG. It also is obviously just like a really good versatile card. It can be used to protect your Last Warrior. It can be used to protect your, well, not really Last Warrior, sorry, because generally your opponent's just going to be setting flip effects, but you've got knock and stuff for that. But yeah, just a really good card to protect your skilled Dark Magician from being run over, things like that. Really cool. So that's that. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Bye bye.